Welcome everybody to Pokésports. We are currently in the finals of our Pokésports Patron Only League that we host over on patreon.com/Pokésports All month, people have been signing up, making their teams, battling each other in group stages, and then battling each other in finals, all to get to this point here.
The games up to this point have been all super competitive, all super good games. I think I went like 3-2 in group stages, so I couldn't even make it out of groups.
Neither did I.
So,
I went 2-3.
Rest in peace. It's okay. The August League is our that's
exactly.
Our league.
August League is upon us, but until then, we're going to finish off the July League by commentating this match between Scorcho and Tofu. So we're going to look over that. We're going to commentate it. Both of us have not watched this yet, so this is a completely new experience for the two of us.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see these games, especially since I know Tofu's bringing the cat team here with the Incineroar, Luxray, Meowstic, Espeon, Berserker, and Sylveon. And then Scorcho's bringing the Crit team with Machamp, Drapion, Rotom, Wash, Incineroar, Amoonguss, and Togekiss.
All right.
So I'm excited to see the cat team versus the Crit team. Who takes it out on top?
Now, Scorcho, very, very quickly knows exactly what he's bringing, going for the Incineroar and Drapion as a lead. From what I understand, this is a somewhat common lead for him, bringing the Incineroar first.
Mm-hmm. Incineroar as the lead is just super scary in general.
It's very true.
Both members here are actually bringing the Incineroar to this battle. Incineroar is actually one of the highest usages we had in this tournament period, so it did make it all the way to the finals, and it's probably for a good reason.
I'm actually really scared to see what happens with this Drapion. Razor Claw Drapion?
Yeah, dude.
Big crits.
Item Claws. It's the same thing, I guess, as Scope Lens. Has the exact same percentage of raising the crits.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, so getting into this, Tofu's going to send out Meowstic and Incineroar as a lead. Okay.
What is Tofu wearing? Never mind that.
Drapion and Incineroar coming out on the other side, on Scorcho's side.
See, what's great about having on the crits on Scorcho's side of the field is that this Intimidate doesn't actually matter too much, because he's not going for attacks, he's going for crits.
I will say that this Intimidate doesn't really make too much of a difference to Tofu either, minus, I guess, the Incineroar, but Incineroar can always just go for the parting shot there.
This is a very good point. Yeah, what's great about Drapion in general as a crit Pokemon is that it does have access to 2 stab, high critical hit ratio moves and the sniper ability. So when it hits those crits, it's going to hit them ridiculously hard.
What's the percentage chance to actually crit with a Drapion with all that?
Drapion with all that, I believe it's about like 1/4 of a chance.
Wow.
1/4 of the time.
Incineroar going to swap out on Scorcho's side for the Amoonguss. Meanwhile, the Incineroar not going anywhere on Tofu's side, actually going to Dynamax. Big shiny cat.
Is not phased by that Intimidate at all. It was just like, I don't care. I'm going to be big now.
Meowstic going for Ally Switch, predicting, I suppose, the Dark move from the Drapion, who does end up going for the Night Slash on the Incineroar. Is going to crit, but wow, that just did not do very much damage at all.
Incineroar just doesn't care very much. It's going to go for the Max Knuckle to fix its own attack onto the Amoonguss, who also doesn't care, but as long as the attacks reset here, I think that's all Incineroar wanted to do.
It's true. Incineroar going to get its attack back. Amoonguss now has quite the options here. Amoonguss could be going for some sleep here. Actually, no, going to be swapping out on Scorcho's side for the Incineroar. Get another Intimidate off, bringing that Incineroar right back down to -1, where it belongs.
Scorcho just trying to control the Dynamax, wasting the turn to Dynamax while he still has his in his pocket. Is going to go for the Night Slash here on the Meowstic, and it's a big old crit, not caring at all about the Intimidate.
Youch. That Meowstic goes down to a Night Slash, and the Max Flare going to be from the Incineroar onto the other Incineroar, doing about as much damage as that Night Slash did on the Incineroar the turn before. Not a ton, but is going to set up that Sun for the next turn.
One more turn of Dynamax left on that Incineroar, and it's still sitting at -1. Does Tofu want to just go for the Max Knuckle to reset it, or just go for another Flare Blitz in the Sun?
Well, that is true. You're going to get a lot more damage this time, but The attack on Sylveon is going to be pretty scary right now as well. Drapion, a huge threat against the fairy type. Could be going for any kind of poison attacks right now, but switching back into the Amoonguss. Getting the cross poison on the Sylveon too. That did quite a bit of damage, but without a crit, that is not going to be enough to take it out, especially with that -1.
And gonna do half damage to the Drapion with the Hyper Voice as well. Max Flare coming out did opt for just not going for... Oh, is this gonna take out? Yeah, it's gonna take out the Drapion.
Took out the Drapion. Wow. That extra sun looking to be pretty helpful here. But now the Drapion's down. Sylveon has a little bit more time, a little bit more space to just kind of control Tofu's side of the field.
On top of that, the Incineroar on Tofu's side of the field is also going to be at -2 now, thanks to Scorcho's Incineroar. This is just an like an Incineroar game, an Intimidate game. A lot of switches happening from Scorcho, but it looks like Scorcho is finally going to get a good chance to just make the Sylveon wait a turn, not take too much Hyper Voice, and maybe put it to sleep here too.
Fun fact, Scorcho's Incineroar has officially put out 3 Intimidates this game. That is one intimidating cat. So gonna go back to Tofu here, this Incineroar. Switching up for the Espeon, we've now got the double evolutions.
Tofu predicting the fake out is gonna protect here.
That's good. Save some damage. And the Sludge Bomb on the Sylveon. Protect really putting in work this turn. Not going to get touched at all.
Tofu's going to come out on top that turn. Was just able to reset his stats and then just prevent the Incineroar fake out.
Now the question is, how is this Espeon going to be dealing with the Incineroar on the other side? Are we going to see some non-stab moves come out right now, or is the Espeon going to go for the Amoonguss? It turns out going right for the Amoonguss with the expanding force, not in psychic terrain, doesn't matter because the Amoonguss does go down in 1 to that expanding force.
Life orb damage, that's really, really big.
Absolutely.
Knowing that for games 2 and 3.
Incineroar taking a little bit of damage from the Hyper Voice there, but Darkest Lariat's going to do a ton of damage, taking it out. That's an Oko right there. One hit knockout on the Espeon.
Both of these players bringing out the very, very offensive Incineroars. Only getting one shots here.
Of course. So now Incineroar coming back out. This is the last Pokemon, I believe, for Tofu's side, and then Rotom going to be the last Pokemon for Scorcho's side. The Intimidate coming off one more time. Total Intimidates this game, I believe, is up to 5.
I'm going to say 20.
Yeah.
It sounds like 20.
Sounds about right. Oh, saving the Dynamax right for the end there. Scorcho has not used his Dynamax at this point of the game.
Could be very big, especially for getting rid of this sun. What's interesting here is that now he's at a point where he doesn't know, does he just Darkest Lariat or go for the Flare Blitz?
That's true. This Incineroar having kind of a tough decision to make. Not a ton that can actually do a lot of damage to the Sylveon, which is in this case potentially the biggest threat from Tofu. But here comes the Dynamax. The Rotom's going to become that big washing machine. Anybody got a load of clothes? Because I have all of my families to do. Toss it all into Rotom. We'll be good to go. Now who's going to go first here? That's the question. It's going to be Rotom. Oh, that Max Geyser on potentially the Sylveon. Okay, wow. Not even doing half of its remaining HP, bringing it down to just about 30%.
Sylveon, a special tank, on top of all the damage is reduced by 50% for being in the sun, is going to go for the Hyper Voice.
That's true.
And Drain Punch coming out from Tofu on the Incineroar is going to knock it out.
Surprise! What are you gonna do when an Incineroar Drain Punches you? Bringing it back up to full health from its, I want to say, close to 80%. That's gonna be huge.
It is a 2v1, but technically Rotom does kind of scare this Incineroar here.
Absolutely.
Let's see what happens.
Rotom could potentially take out the Sylveon here. Goes for the Max Geyser. Will it be on the Sylveon? No, it will not be. It will be on the Incineroar, which does take it out in 1. And now it's just down to Incineroar versus Sylveon. Oh, going for the yawn. That's going to be one sleepy washing machine. Can Sylveon survive one more turn, though? That is the question.
I think all Rotom needs is one more turn. Is going to protect. Ooh.
That's a smart choice right there. We're going to get a Max Geyser. If this takes out the Sylveon, then this Rotom will be sleepy.
Does not do enough. Sylveon is going to stay awake. Obviously. And then the Rotom will fall asleep. And that's more than enough.
That's
all he needs is one sleep turn.
Yeah. Well, we have seen that the Rotom is faster than the Sylveon. So if he does have his sleep turn this turn, the Sylveon doesn't take him out this turn, and then Rotom takes it out the next turn by waking up, we could be seeing a win on
Citrus Berry might save it. Citrus Berry getting away from quick attack range.
That's true.
It all depends on this wake here.
Doesn't actually happen. Rotom is fast asleep. Sylveon going for the Hyper Voice, going to take it out from 68 or whatever it was. Rotom's going to go down here, and game 1 is going to go to Tofu with the clutch Sylveon win. Kevin, what do you think of that?
That was very smart on Chris to know that he had to yawn there instead of just opting for just an attack just to do damage. The yawn was super crucial. The protect following the yawn was super crucial because it was able to stall out that game long enough to stall out the Dynamax and then just take it with Hyper Voice.
Absolutely. Saving that Dynamax until the very end was a good play on Scorcho's side, but just did not have that damage to take out the late game Sylveon. Typically, if you're saving your Dynamax for the very end there, it's usually to take out the stronger Pokemon that are usually sitting in the back. However, Tofu's team being super specially tanky, especially with that Sylveon, coming out really kind of threw a wrench in this Rotom, for lack of a better term. Wrench in a washing machine.
Now, will Scorcho change his lead here?
Will either of them?
Like he's opting for it.
It looks like it, but will Tofu go for the same lead as well? Tofu, to remind, last game went for Incineroar and Meowstic. Scorcho went for Incineroar and Drapion. Is Tofu going to predict that the Meowstic is actually going to put in work? Or is the Incineroar enough of a threat to try and take it out before anything else happens? We'll just
All I know is that Scorcho still has not locked in, which means he still has not decided. He's putting a lot of thought into this lead here. He's actually going to change his mind.
Turns out we're seeing a new team composition, removing the Amoonguss and putting in the Togekiss. But here comes game 2. Let's get ready for game 2 here. Dada versus Chris.
Now we know that Scorcho decided with the exact same leads. What will Chris decide to do?
Oh, it's a beautiful Applin shirt. I never even... This is the first time I actually looked at that. An Applin sweater. Incineroar and Drapion versus Meowstic and Sylveon. Still not going to matter. The Intimidate not going to matter.
This is where the mind games come into play here. Scorcho knows that Tofu has Ally Switch on that Meowstic. Will that change his decision making here when it comes to choosing the move for the Drapion?
Now, another thing that everyone needs to remember is that first turn Incineroar definitely, you're going to have to worry about that fake out. A fake out followed by a crit attack can just really throw a real wrench in your plans. Incineroar coming out back to the original lead, swapping out the Meowstic for the Sylveon. With the Intimidate going to be going off on the Incineroar and the Drapion here. Again. Oh, Dynamax time.
Opting to Dynamax the Sylveon this time around.
Attack on Sylveon. Here we go. This is the true attack on Sylveon. That is the scariest looking, beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Pretty accurate.
Incineroar going for the fake out on Sylveon. Okay.
Wonder if that was a prediction by Tofu. Cross Poison's gonna matter. Jeez, look at that. Crit damage. And going to get the poison. Oh, that's a balanced move.
That's a pretty balanced move. So the Starfall going down on the Drapion, that is almost going to be enough to take it out here, but not quite.
We're seeing some heavy hitters this first turn, a lot faster pace than last game.
Absolutely. Sylveon going to take some damage from the poison, not enough to take it out. Still going to be left with at least one little tick. Now, this is kind of an interesting position that Scorcho's in, is do you attack into the Sylveon to try and take it out, or do you try and stall out a turn so that Sylveon can just fall to its own poison? Drapion looking to kind of take the middle ground there and protecting itself. The opposing Incineroar.
Predicting the fake out. He did predict it well.
However, that Starfall going down on the Incineroar, not going to be enough to take it out. Incineroar can take a punch, even with a crit.
Returning the crit is going to just take out the Sylveon. Doesn't want to take too many more max Starfalls here.
That U-turn going to be huge. We're getting multiple Intimidates from Scorcho once again. This Incineroar is all about coming in and going back out again.
And Tofu's going to be losing the Dynamax really early on. This is the same thing we saw from Scorcho last game, where he just preserves that Dynamax until later in the game when he feels like he needs it. It couldn't save him last game. Will it be able to save him this game?
Bring the Rotom out early here. Is the Rotom going to try and take out the Incineroar before the Incineroar can live until late game? We'll have to see, but we actually have an appearance from Luxray this game.
Pretty big. Tofu now showing all 4 of his Pokemon. Did have the Incineroar, Luxray, Meowstic, and Sylveon, which did just go down. Pretty big here.
Very good.
Luxray threatens that Togekiss very much that Scorcho decided to bring this time around.
Absolutely. Now again,
again,
for how best of 3s go, wow, that Intimidate going to really help really help Scorcho's case. One thing that Scorcho knows at this point, at this point in the best of 3, is that Tofu's 5 out of 6 Pokemon have been revealed. Obviously, he has all of them in front of him, but now he can see the Luxray and really get a read of what kind of a Pokemon it is. Noticing things like this Drain Punch on the Incineroar. Can we talk about that?
Putting in some serious work.
Seriously.
Hey, did you know Incineroar gets close combat this gen?
Oh, it has arms.
Yep.
Fake out on Luxray.
Pretty safe. Luxray just went for the protect. Ooh. Scorcho fears this Luxray.
Huh.
Also realizing Luxray is not Flame Orb because it would have... oh
That
no!
would have triggered last turn, wouldn't it?
No, because they're in Misty Terrain. It still could be Flame Orb.
Oh, there it is. Tofu might have actually figured that out in that turn. Choosing to swap out from Meowstic.
We're just like, oh, I don't have Flame Orb guts anymore.
But now we are going to get that Dynamax on Scorcho's side. Going to be on the Togekiss.
That's a terrifying crit kiss.
That's another big, scary plane.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful plane.
Big, scary, beautiful plane. Instead, we're going to be using Fake Out on the Meowstic. Not going to matter as this was just a switch in, but then the Starfall, which is also on the Meowstic, not going to be enough to take it out.
It's going to pop the Citrus.
Eating a delicious berry. And
another Drain Punch coming out.
Yep, that's going to be enough to take out Scorcho's Incineroar. Tofu's Incineroar are going to be healing up a little bit. It's actually at full right now, isn't it? So then that Incineroar is just going to go down.
This Incineroar has gone for Drain Punch more than stab moves.
That's true. We're at that point in the meta, folks. Put a fighting move on your cat. Rotom going to come back out again. At this point, Scorcho's still sitting kind of pretty. Able to go for the Hydro Pump on the Incineroar, or able to really go for any kind of attack on the Meowstic. The Togekiss, not too much that can threaten the Togekiss at this point of the game.
Yeah, Scorcho is down by 1 Pokemon, but he does still have his Dynamax at full HP.
Yep.
Ally Switch gonna come out here.
The Ally Switch just to soak up some damage from the Meowstic side. It's actually going to survive the Hydro Pump, so that's pretty great. Incineroar, both of Tofu's Pokemon actually survived this turn because of that Ally Switch.
Which is very good for Tofu, because I'm pretty sure Tofu's just trying to stall out this Dynamax so that he can take care of the Togekiss with the Luxray later on in the game.
Yeah. He's actually at the point now that he has to wait for Misty Terrain to fall, which it just did. However, now if this Togekiss does set it back up, if Scorcho did notice that there was a reason why Tofu had swapped out his Luxray, might just be going for another Max Starfall here. Rotom going for the Thunderbolt. Bringing out the Meowstic.
Super simple KO. And now this Incineroar is not going to like this Max Airstream too much.
Ouch. Bye-bye, Incineroar. And now, Tofu only left with one Luxray. One Pokemon on the field versus two Pokemon on the field. We're about to have a Mike v. Kevin situation on our hands, folks.
If there's anything Scorcho's showing people right now, it's that saving your Dynamax, if it's possible, is so crucial for a battle.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Tofu not going to be able to get the Guts boost out on this turn. Might have to go for any kind of Protect if he does have it. Otherwise, this is looking pretty dicey for Tofu right now. Hydro Pump going to be on Luxray. Luxray, how much damage is that going to do to Luxray? Yeah, just over half. And then Dazzling Gleam, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, and take it out.
That's
with a crit.
Oof.
In fashion.
Just got to add a tiny bit of insult to injury there. To bring the match down to 1-1. That's one win for Scorcho just now. One win for Tofu the game before. So now going into game 3, kind of an interesting situation in that, as I said before, Scorcho has a pretty good read on what Tofu is bringing, knowing 5 out of the 6 Pokemon. Tofu not really seeing what that Machamp can do yet, not really seeing, well, has seen the Togekiss, actually.
It saw the Amoonguss, but the Amoonguss didn't do much.
That's true.
Kind of went down.
That's true. So at this point, what has... Oh, you know what? Scorcho hasn't seen Berserker in action yet.
That is a good point. Both opponents hiding one Pokemon from each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like Scorcho realizes how crucial that Togekiss was to win that last game. Absolutely. And is just going to lock in. Well, hasn't locked in yet, actually. Taking one final look at Tofu's side.
Something you got to do. You just got to keep looking back and forth at your opponent's team and your own. Is what I'm bringing actually going to win me this game? Is my opponent going to bring the same Pokemon, or is my opponent going to try and throw a curveball at me here? But here we go into game 3. Scorcho versus Tofu. Let's get it on. There he is with the beautiful Applin sweater. Applin turtleneck, I should say. Oh, starting with Meowstic Sylveon.
Going back to the old lead from last game. On both sides. Now,
we've seen this lead last game that didn't work out particularly well for Tofu. He did have to swap out the Meowstic into the Incineroar. The Sylveon did Dynamax that last game. So now it's just a matter of if that is going to happen again.
Something we have to remember here is that Sylveon was put in a situation to where the crit did some monster damage, but had it not crit, it definitely would have been able to take out the Drapion the following turn. So Tofu could also just be banking on it not critting, but does hit a very, very nice double protect
into a trick
going for the trick room.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure Scorcho didn't account for that one, because I know I didn't.
Fair enough. That Darkest Area going into Sylveon, that was a good choice right there. Kind of hedging your bets on if the Sylveon does go for the Dynamax, then I hit him with a Cross Poison. If the Meowstic goes for an Ally Switch, then I hit him with a Darkest Lariat.
Splitting his resources there.
Tofu going to Dynamax here. Is that going to be back on Sylveon? Most likely.
I really hope so. I hope so for Tofu's sake.
There it is. So Sylveon coming out. Big meow.
Yeah, that Trick Room is very big here because it does make it so that Sylveon becomes the fastest thing on the field right now.
That is true. Meowstic going for the Ally Switch. Hitting that priority. So Incineroar actually going first. Going for the Darkest Lariat on the Meowstic. Ouch!
That is gonna hurt.
That's a painful switch.
Might have some speed on the Sylveon or not a lot of speed on this Incineroar. They share the same speed tier. Or it could be a speed tie, who knows?
Either way, going for the Starfall on the Drapion. Now the question is, did Tofu bring that Luxray again? Because Misty Terrain is quite nasty for that Luxray.
Drapion gonna live with a little bit more HP this time, but it's still just one tick away from going down. Meowstic will go down here to the critical hit Cross Poison.
Yep.
Big damage.
So at this point, Tofu just needs to bring out something that's a little bit slower. Yeah, Incineroar is a pretty good choice there. Incineroar v Incineroar. More intimidates in this game than I've ever seen in any game I've ever played. It all comes down to, is the Incineroar on Tofu's side slower than the Incineroar on Scorcho's side? That could mean a KO on Drapion before Drapion's able to actually do anything. Could also not matter because of Fake Out.
Now what's big here is that the Sylveon is still sitting here at full HP and this Drapion is sitting here at like 14. One fake out away, and Drapion was Scorcho's, answer to the Sylveon. He's actually going to protect. Interesting.
Well, knowing that
the fake out.
Knowing that the fake out's coming can really help this. Incineroar going for the fake out on the other Incineroar though, expecting that the Drapion is going to go for some kind of protect. Starfall though is going to go on Drapion, is going to go through protect, and is going to knock it out.
That is a big play on Tofu's side, realizing that the protect is obvious. He's protected the fake out before in the past, learning from the mistakes and then just adapting to it. That's a really good play. Rotom comes out here.
Now again, Scorcho, in typical Scorcho fashion, has saved his Dynamax and can potentially use it here on the Rotom to hit any kind of max geysers or max guards that doesn't actually need to. Just goes for the regular old protect.
Trying to stall out this Trick Room as much as he can here.
Incineroar U-turns to intimidate another day. Oh, going into Togekiss. So really, we have two Pokemon that have had their time in the sun, as it were, for Dynamaxing. Game 2 was when Scorcho Dynamaxed the Togekiss. Game 1 was Scorcho Dynamaxing the Rotom. Now that Tofu has lost his Dynamax, now it could be Scorcho's turn to Dynamax and really flip the tides.
Now that Dynamax is gone, it does give Scorcho a little bit of room to just be like, okay, it's my turn now. Yeah. And will what that Sylveon did in its Dynamax be enough? Will taking out that Drapion be enough to carry Tofu through the rest of the game?
It's kind of a tough decision at this point, whether to Dynamax the Rotom or the Togekiss. Both of which, Max Lightning could be good here. Max Geyser definitely could be good here. However, Tofu choosing to withdraw the Incineroar again to intimidate another day. Sending out the Espeon, hard switching into the Espeon in this situation. That could be real bad for Tofu.
Espeon is very specially defensive. It's probably the only reason he did that, or maybe just saw the impeding Hydro Pump there.
Could have been it. But either way, the Togekiss is going to be the Dynamax target, not the Rotom. So we could see some Max Starfalls or some Max Airstreams here. Hyper Voice from the Sylveon going to do a ton of damage to Rotom, triggering that Citrus Berry.
Rotom did not like that kind of damage.
Back up to 94. The Airstream going to go off on the Sylveon, doing a ton of damage, but not quite enough. Bring it down to about 25%. Doing a crit right there. Yeah, that's a pretty big crit for him.
I'm curious how many turns are left of Trick Room there, because Scorcho is raising his own speed under Trick Room. And Espeon avoids.
Oh, it just ended.
Scorcho making a very nice play there, making sure to hold that Max Airstream until Trick Room was just about gone.
Youch. Yeah, really. So here comes that Thunderbolt on the Sylveon. Going to be enough to take it out. So now it's just the Espeon versus the Togekiss. Is the Togekiss going to be enough with this Max Airstream? Tofu, of course, does have one. Oh my my goodness. There goes that Espeon. Wow, with another crit.
Crit team landing crits. Who would have guessed?
Crit kiss with the crits.
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
Crits hurt, guys.
Yeah, crits
hurt a lot.
Both cats going down on the same team, on the same turn. And now
all that's left
all comes down to Tofu's Incineroar. Which, mind you, it is shiny. So where there's a shine, there's a way.
I don't know. Togekiss' Dazzling Gleam might be brighter.
Ooh, that's true. I mean, where the Incineroar is shiny, Togekiss just makes everything shiny. So gotta fear that. So the Rotom
is gonna protect.
Yep. It's not bad here. I mean, that is going to go through any kind of fake out. However, not going to use a fake out at all. Just trying to get as much damage off as possible. The Incineroar are going to take a ton of damage, going down to about 30%. Togekiss's speed is going to rise again. However, Incineroar just kind of playing for its life here, going for the Flare Blitz. Not going to be even close to enough.
Playing with its life too, losing a lot of health through the Flare
basically.
Blitz.
And now this is just Scorcho's game to clean up.
Yeah, it's looking like all Shiro here for the Incineroar. Cats are taken down by Bird and Washing Machine.
Bird and Washing Machine going for that Thunderbolt. That Thunderbolt, the KDA on that Thunderbolt is pretty high, we'll say.
And that's your set.
That's the set. Congratulations to Scorcho.
The first ever Pokésports League champion. What a title to have.
That's quite the title to have, Kevin. I am thoroughly impressed with that last game. Though that whole set was just absolutely beautiful. Everything from Scorcho saving the Dynamaxes to the amount of Intimidates that just kind of went off on that team was huge.
Yeah, like both players played very well.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect Cats to make it this far, and I'm very happy that it made it to the finals. That's pretty exciting.
I'm incredibly surprised that the Cats made it this far.
Something that you guys watching might be noticing is that both of the players here are not bringing super meta teams, but they went through such a grueling tournament to get to this point versus very, very hard opponents to get to this point. Yeah. So that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
And also, speaking of these teams, I will be using them the next couple of days. So keep your eyes out.
Yeah, actually, today being Friday, I am currently streaming using Tofu's Cats team. Because I looked at that and I thought, oh, that's a pretty fun thing. Let's go ahead and use that immediately. So that's the game. Again, for everybody who's watching us on YouTube, the next Pokésports League is starting tomorrow, actually. Signups begin. Well, signups have begun on July 30th, but signups will be going on until August 10th for you to, bring in your teams and share your teams for the August League. You want to get into this position right here where you're in the finals going up against Cats.
Patreon.com/Pokésports Podcast. Link in the description. Any tier is available for the league. So go ahead, and we hope to see you there.
See you next time, everybody. I've been Mike, and I play with one on the field.
I'm Kevin. I play with two. Bye-bye.
Bye.